Good morning, traders. So how do we trade the DAX this morning? So I think Friday was actually pretty interesting. I've got two levels drawn in. You can see I've got this downward trend line, which is basically the highs of these two tails, and then taking it off what happened here and lined up with where we ended up on Friday. So that gives me one, two, three touch points. So that's a fairly strong trend line. And what I would expect now is a move to the downside, and the move to the downside is what I've been waiting for. So I'm waiting for the setup. We pull back, consolidate, find ourselves some support, and then move to the upside. And the area that I'm actually looking to find support in is going to be pretty much around 12,160 and possibly even 12, call it 12,200. Okay, and why I'm selecting 12,200, it's really where our alligator will be. So price will move back and find support on the alligator, or alternatively on this tail over here. Okay, so that's kind of my long-term view on the DAX at the moment. And you can see the oscillators are starting to move to the downside as well. We are technically still in an uptrend. Okay, so we would have to break below the low of Friday in order for sort of a break below and then a retest in order for me to be convinced that we are moving to the downside. Okay, so that's kind of what I'll be watching today, is to see whether we can drop below this and see where we get to. Okay, so I just want to pop in on the weekly quickly, and you can see the inside bar with a confirmation bar on the weekly. So, from a weekly perspective, this is a fairly strong signal. Okay, if we do break this downward trend line, it's going to move higher pretty quickly. And if you look at that, you'll see we have a consolidation pattern on the weekly here. Okay, so yeah, okay, so what we're looking for is we are looking for a move down. And if I look at the DAX futures market right now, 12,360, which is below this level at the moment. Okay, so this level right here is 12,367, and futures is 12,365 at the moment. So we are slightly below this. So we do have a gap here, which I anticipate will get closed. And I also anticipate that we're going to sort of move a little bit further down before we find a base and then move to the upside. And move to the upside is either going to test this breakout, okay, test it, and then move back to the downside, or alternatively, it will break through and come and test the highs. Okay, so for now, I anticipate we're going to move to the downside in a short-term retracement, and the question is, where are we going to? And what I like to do is to pull my levels off the 4 hour. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to look, I look at the fractals, okay? So you see every fractal, and the last fractal breakout is the area that I expect to be tested. So that's the first logical place to be tested. And the second logical place that should be tested is the 200, 200 moving average on the 4 hour. Okay. So that's kind of what I expect. And oops, what we want to do here is just do that and pick that up. Right. Okay. So what I'm doing is really just looking at the next level, and this is a consolidation pattern. So I would expect us to, if we do break below it, then we should be moving pretty far coming back down to this 12,280 area. Okay, so for now, looking at the 4-hour, we are consolidating. Okay, the trend is up and we are consolidating. We are far away from the alligator. So normally what that means is you're expecting price to come back towards the alligator and either find some support or break through and continue moving to the downside. So I anticipate that we should be more consolidation and a move to the downside could possibly get us to, what's that, 12,300. So 12,300 is the area to watch. Any kind of bullish price action there would be a pretty good area to be long. And the last thing we want to do is just draw that trend line in, and you'll see how all of these things, all these levels sort of converge at the same level here. Okay, so the area we're watching is 12,300 and 12,280. That's basically the area that we're looking for some form of consolidation again for a further move to the upside. Okay, so pretty interesting call today, I think. So from a daily perspective, the trend is still down. So you could argue that this is at a decent, pretty decent retracement of this move down, and we're now looking for a leg lower. And if you look at the daily diversions here, you can see price has made a high, made a lower high, whereas the indicator has made a higher high. So that is continuation divergence, which basically means continuation down. And this is on the daily. We are overbought on the daily, and we are technically still below the zero line here on the awesome oscillator. So, the trend is still down. So you would expect us to move, but I'm anticipating sort of a move and another attempt at this line here. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking for. You see there was 2 days which we did at the level. Here we had 3, then on the 4th day we moved aside. So that's kind of what I'm anticipating, is a bit of consolidation and then a move back down. Okay, so if we do break above this high, then all bets are off, because then that is starting to break this trend line. Okay, so that's kind of my take on this at the moment. I do want a much deeper pullback. Sorry, so if we just come back to the 4-hour, this has been a pretty strong move to the upside. So I do want to see either a lengthy set of consolidation or alternatively a fairly deep pullback back into this 12,300 area before getting long again. Okay, and then the long, I would anticipate us hitting this level again, this diagonal trend line, and then bouncing back to the downside. Okay, this trend line that we have here is the one that we need to watch for a break. Okay, now before we close off, let's just have a look at the ichimoku, because that will give us a fairly good indication of what's actually going on. And you can see we are above the cloud, we're above Kijinsen. Everything here is saying that the trend is up. However, on the daily, you can see we are running up. We haven't had a crossover here. The cloud hasn't crossed over. Okay, we do have diversions, and we're bouncing off the underside of the cloud. So if you're trading ichimoku only, you'd be looking for shorts, and you'd be looking for an extended move to come and test these lows. Okay, so that's kind of what I am anticipating. I'm not so sure that we'll move to the downside here, but what I do expect is that we have some kind of a pullback. So that would be the first pullback, and we're looking for it to come back to there's a couple of things that we can look for, and I'm just picking this up off the ichimoku now. You can see, so 12,200 would be a very logical place for price to come back to. Okay, then on the Fibonacci, you can see we've got this level here which lines up. Let's just move that up. Okay, you see that lines up pretty much with these some of these tails here. So that's 12,160, and then you have previous lows here of 12. Let's call it 12,100. Okay. However, the other thing that we can look at is this was a move, pullback, second move. So you're looking for a pullback, and now you can see how the 50 and the 60 lines up right here. So 50%, 61.8 lines up right here with the daily Tekinson. Okay. So that is kind of what I'm anticipating. I really am anticipating a move back down to 12 to 20. Okay. And at that point, I would expect some form of consolidation and then looking for a reason to get long off this level. If it does drop below it, then what I'm doing is I'm looking to pick up the next level. And for me, the next level will be, you can see there's an inside tail there, a couple of tails that interact at this level there as well. Okay, and there's also a bit of flat cloud here. So that's kind of the zone that I'm looking for. I would really like to see price come back down, deep pullback, all the way back down into this 12,160 to 12,200 area, where I want to see price sort of consolidate, and then we get a second move to the upside. And then that second move should break this downward trend line. Okay, if we do get back through this area, then that bets off, and we're looking to come and test the lows, possibly even get lower. Okay, so that's kind of my take on this. Yeah, as I say, I'm looking for a pullback, and then I'm looking for a reason to get long. That's pretty much what it boils down to. And I do anticipate that we are busy with a potential trend change, and you can see it on the 4 hour. So I'm really want to see us just pull back, consolidate, and then allow us to move back to the upside. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. And if you can see, 12,300 is one of the first areas to watch. But preferably, I'd like just to get down to 12,160 area. Okay, so that's my take on the DAX today. I hope it helps. And yeah, as I say, I'm not looking for any longs at this level. Are looking at shorts, and we're basically looking for a level to hold, to offer some support, and at which point we can start looking for a move to the upside. Okay, so keep those stops tight and enjoy your day. I'll catch up with you guys later. Cheers for now.